With Silicon Valley Bank hitting the headlines, I thought I'd do a quick video to explain how we got to the situation we currently find ourselves in. Well, Silicon Valley Bank, as the name suggests, is very popular with tech firms, both startup and scale up. They take the money that they get from investments, from customers that they serve, and they deposit it in Silicon Valley Bank, much like any other bank, but with that focus on tech, startup and scale up companies, obviously. Now, Silicon Valley Bank, like many other banks, then uses that deposit or those deposits to buy bonds, which then make the bank money. Now, these bonds are typically very, very safe. They deliver over a long period of time, but they are pegged to the inflation rate, the price that they purchased at. So as a result, are subject sometimes to fluctuations in interest rate. Over a longer period of time, it's not normally a problem. But in the short term, when you get big spikes in inflation, like we've seen in the United States, that can be an issue. So a number of tech firms have started to see the VC landscape dry up in terms of being able to get investment for subsequent rounds. And as a result, have been making increasing calls on Silicon Valley Bank to withdraw funds. Now, when that happens in a great concentration, that's called a run on the bank. And the bank, when it faces a run, has to make sure that it has enough money within that bank to be able to pay each customer who's asking for their deposits back, their money. Now, sometimes what it can do to do that, if there's not enough money in the system, is sell the assets that it holds. And quite typically, these are the bonds that it's purchased. Now, as I said, the issue is when you have to sell bonds short term, and interest rates are much higher when you sell them compared to when you bought them, which is the case with Silicon Valley Bank. So those assets are worth less. The more runs on the bank, the more assets you have to sell in what's called a fire sale. And as a result, each sale is loss-making for the bank. And at some point, that bank will fall over. And that has happened recently. The bank has been declared technically insolvent. So what is the impact of this? Well, the UK arm services a number of different tech firms, and 150 of those have written to the Chancellor, Jeremy Hunt, asking for the UK government to step in and help Silicon Valley Bank to ensure that the UK tech scene remains at the forefront of the world economy. Now, UK government are currently considering the position on this, and we'll have to wait and see, but there's sufficient concern there to raise the issue up through both the news agenda and in the letter to Jeremy Hunt. So we'll have to wait to see how this pans out.